This is Eddie Hearn, Matchroom Boxing. You're watching Sporting Icons. You don't need to be anywhere else.
Now, I know a lot of you guys would have seen that previous video where I kind of went in on Eddie Hearn a little bit, which is out of character, of course. And my frustration has been built up because I've been feeling that some of the cards have been lacking lately, which isn't the norm for an Eddie Hearn Matchroom Boxing show. And I have been a little bit annoyed by some of it. So that's where a lot of that frustration come from. It's not a personal thing about Eddie Hearn. I don't have a personal problem with Eddie Hearn. I know some people are starting to think that I do. It's not that at all. I don't want anything from Eddie Hearn or anything at all other than just put on good cards. I don't want, just because he's been signed up to DAZN, to start slipping here in the UK. And with only just over a week away from a Joshua event, usually his cards are already stacked and we're talking about the undercards and what fights are going to be good. And we're not doing it with this one because nothing's really been announced on it. So anyway, Sergey Kuzmin, he's going to be taking on David Price on this very undercard, which is kind of typical. I'll do a video and then another card or another fight gets announced to the card. It's happened many times before, okay, so it's no sweat on my half. Now, Kuzmin versus David Price, decent fight. I can't disagree with that one at all. Kuzmin's 12-0, 9 of those by knockout, 31 years old, from Russia. And as I predicted in the previous video, because I've seen that Kuzmin was on the card, he didn't have an opponent. It was a case of, I had a feeling that Kuzmin was part of Alexander Povetkin's promotional team in World of Boxing, and true enough, I was right on that one. It was a pure luck guess, but absolutely correct. Now he's been given David Price. David Price, last time out, he got knocked out by Alexander Povetkin. So at this stage right now, he's a journeyman, and one more loss will solidify that fact. And against Kuzmin, if he loses, you know, that's it for him now, right now. Of course, I'm Team Price. I know a lot of you guys will be as well, hoping that he's going to do the business. But Sergei Kuzmin is no joke. He's had an exceptional amateur career. By all accounts, I heard that he knocked out Joe Joyce in the amateurs as well. And I do worry that David Price is just being fed to the wolves, because he is an attraction. Okay, he is loved by the UK boxing fans, so UK boxing fans will turn and try and look at that fight. So it's good business sense from Eddie Hearn, but I do worry that David Price has been thrown to the wolves. He's just here now just to get a few quid and sell up into the sunset ultimately. And you know what, good luck to him. But if he can get a win over Sergei Kuzmin, fantastic. And if you haven't heard of Kuzmin, if you get a chance, go watch him, go watch some highlights, and you'll see he's an absolute beast. David Price is not supposed to beat Kuzmin, just like he wasn't supposed to beat Povetkin. And that's the truth of it. So I'm fully expecting a Kuzmin win, and by devastating knockout as well. I don't want that to happen. I would love Price to blitz through Kuzmin, but I've just got a feeling it ain't going to happen. But you know what, I'd love to be wrong, and I'd love David Price to do him. But I think that David Price has been put on there pretty much as a circus act. I think that's what it is, because Kuzmin's on the card as a favour to Povetkin's promotional team, World of Boxing. And who do people want to see Kuzmin fight? Well, David Price. Now, David Price was originally supposed to have been on this card. Okay, and I knew this about a month or so ago, and it wasn't supposed to be against Kuzmin. So David Price was meant to fight somebody. I'm not going to say who it is, but he's an American heavyweight, and I knew that a deal had been offered for this one, and for whatever reason that kind of fell apart. I think it's because David Price wanted another show. I think he's going to go fight on an MTK Global show, if I remember rightly, and he got injured. So anyway, he's okay now, and he's going to be taking on Sergei Kuzmin. Now, just to go back to that previous video again, I have seen some people's comments like, it's amazing, you see, when I praise an Eddie Hearn show, I'm a fanboy. When I criticise one, then I'm just a hater. I mean, it's ridiculous, isn't it? It really is ridiculous. See, I always tell the truth. If I think it's good, it's good. If I think it's gash, it's gash. Now, you see, and again, I said it in the video, but people are still putting in the comments, I said that Joe Cordina against Sean Dodd, I expected it to be a subpar event, because these prospects do need a run out. And again, with the Amir Khan, the Amir Khan versus Samuel Vargas was an excellent main event, but the undercard for me, again, was subpar. So that's all I want. I just want, or I want to make sure that Eddie Hearn isn't going to let the UK card slip in favour of the US ones, because with only what 9 days left, it's over a week left until the Joshua Povetkin fight. For me, this entire card should have been announced by now, way in advance, before any American show that is after this one. You see what I mean? So if Joshua fight is first, then you stack this card first, then you work on the next event and then the next event after that. But he announced the whole Chicago card and Boston card, which is for October, and the entire card's already set, but yet this one isn't. Likewise, he's just announced that Copper Box one with the entire undercard, but yet the Joshua card couldn't be. Now I know people are saying, well, who is it that Eddie Hearn is supposed to put on there who hasn't already got a fight or had a fight recently? And I get that, and I said that as well, that there are plenty of people who we would love to be on the card, but they just can't be on this card, and I know that. But if you look at, say, the Copper Box card that is announced for October 27th, there's a couple of fights on there that could probably have slotted in on this one. They've got other people out there. I mean, David Price is one of them, of course, but you've got like people like Josh Kelly. You know what I mean? He could be on this card. There are so many other people out there that could be on this card, but they're not. They've been given slots on other shows, like Katie Taylor in a unification fight, or sorry, defending her titles against Cindy Serrano over in Boston. It would have been more interesting had she have fought on this Joshua card rather than over there, but I think that his head is turned. He's so desperate to try and make a good attempt in America, and I'm not criticising him for it, but just don't neglect what's going on here in the UK. Don't neglect the fans of the UK in favour of many channels over there. Well, I say many, it is a minority, but he just seems to want to try to get in bed with those guys, get those guys on side. Well, they don't deserve it. If they make video after video after video criticising anything to do with Joshua, Eddie Hearn or British boxing in general, they don't deserve the time of day. But you know what it is, Eddie Hearn loves controversy. He loves a challenge and he sees these guys as a challenge, so what can you do? But anyway, Sergei Kuzmin against David Price has been announced for the Joshua Povetkin undercard. This is a step in the right direction, but we could do with another decent fight, a decent one, and I still maintain Luke Campbell versus Yvan Mendy. While it's a good fight, it's not a co-main event in my opinion. But anyway, what can we do? All we can do is either praise it or moan about it. He ain't gonna listen, so drop your thoughts below, click that thumbs up and subscribe. Catch you all on the next video.